hold on 1 second. Hi, Sydney. Love you. Okay, boom, did it. Okay, so good morning, everybody. I have been awake for a while, so I'm a little extra peppy. Had 2 cups of coffee already, so a little extra energy this morning. I'm not sure why. I thought, honestly, I would have slept in a little bit. I mean, my alarm was set, but I thought I would be able to, basically not get up at the crack of dawn. But nope, I ended up waking up early. And you know what? The reason I woke up early, well, I don't know why I woke up early, but it was like 4:30ish, somewhere around there. And when I rolled over, I saw behind my curtains that it was light outside. But I was looking at the clock and I had one of those moments, when you wake up and you're like, okay, is this dreaming? Am I really awake? Am I thinking I'm awake? Am I groggy? Am I half asleep? And I was looking out around my curtains and I was like, it's light outside, but it's too early to be light outside. Did daylight savings, did that happen already? So all this is going through my brain. And then I realized I left the floodlight on last night. So my backyard was lit up. That's why. Anyway, so that whole mental conundrum that I was having this morning kind of woke me up. And so I was like, well, I don't know if I can get back to sleep. And if I do, am I going to be really cranky if I get back to sleep, but then my alarm goes off right when I've fallen asleep? So I just opted to get on up. So that's what I did. So I'm up. I'm a little extra peppy. So I'm gonna have a hard crash later. But anyway, how are you? I, as always, have so much to share with you. I had such a good weekend, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But it was a really good weekend. I was with clients. That was wonderful. But I also got some extra special fun time. Good morning, Pam and John. Did I ever say good morning to you? Good morning, Susan. I don't know. You guys are all popping in. My glasses aren't on. Hi, Allison. I see you popped in. Love and hugs to all of you guys. Anybody that I may have missed, and all of you that are watching that don't kind of chat in or message. And I love you too. So I'm happy you guys are here. You are my diehard coffee timer friends and family, and I adore you. So I hope you guys had a good weekend. So today, remember a few weeks ago, we did an entire coffee time, one subject based, instead of different topics and kind of touching on all of them. So I figured I'd throw those in every once in a while. And of course, you can tell me, I think when we asked for your opinion that week, sorry, my chair's very squeaky this morning. Maybe it hasn't woken up yet. Anyway, so we had asked when we did that if you like that kind of not a new format. The format's the same, but it's just instead of having 3 totally different topics, if kind of elaborating a bit more on one throughout coffee time would be just a fun change, and you guys seem to like it. You seem to agree that it was kind of fun to be able to dive a little bit deeper. So that's what we're going to do today. And this one, I mean, we're going to tie it into real estate, of course, but this is just life stuff. It's the whole topic is about, spring cleaning, what that means, how that can be cathartic, from real estate perspectives, from if you're buying a home or selling a home, but as well as just you already bought your home, you're living in your home. And so things that you can do, and just diving a little bit deeper in how that rejuvenation kind of gives us that jolt of just energy and being refreshed and de-stressing and all of that. But I'll tell you about my weekend though. I had a very impromptu quick staycation at the Disney All-Star Movies Resort because I wanted to celebrate a little time with Elizabeth and Elsie. And so that's what we did. It was very quick. We just did a Friday night, Saturday night, half Sunday, just at the resort. I was like, I want to do something kind of fun and memorable, create some little memories. And just work is always so busy. Travel is always so busy. Everything is always so busy. I wanted to take a moment and go, you know what? I can work, because I did. I had a very, very, very important client that I was with on Saturday morning for several hours, but it still allowed me time to spend time right there with my daughter and my granddaughter. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try 2026, right? The new Miss Amy trying to figure out life and what it looks like and how that's supposed to work. I want to make sure I don't lose sight of family. So I was like, you know what? I'm right here. Let's just do a couple nights at the Disney All-Star movies. Elsie was going to be like big old eyes, big statues, everything everywhere. Pool, splash pad, playground, just fun. And it reminded me that, I mean, budget permitting, of course, just taking, we didn't go to the park. We didn't do anything outside of the hotel. It was just magical in and of its own sense, just to go to the gift shop and grab some new Disney toys and, go to the food court and have some Mickey waffles and go to the pool, go to the splash pad, just see all the big, and by the way, all-star movies, like for me of the economy resorts, that was one that we went to when Forrest and Allie were young. In fact, I think it was I think it was our first trip with Forrest and Allie because we didn't have Elizabeth and Dawson at that point. And I remember because it was our first Disney vacation. Just full disclosure, this was right after Eric had originally been diagnosed with PSC. And he had said, we're living in Virginia, right? We're living in Virginia, have our family there. And he had gone through some health issues and found out he had primary sclerosing cholangitis. And it was during those visits when they acted like, hey, this is not a great thing to be diagnosed with. Like, this is kind of, there's no known cause and there is no known cure. And eventually it'll get you. And, I remember Eric saying to the doctors, but I haven't taken my kids to Disney World yet. So that true story, honest to God, that's exactly how it happened. And so from then on, we began to measure time as a family by our trips to Disney World. So our first trip, we, young couple, no money. I had my dance studio, no money. My heart was rich, but pocketbook very poor. But we did it anyway. We're like, you know what? Life moments, life memories. So we went and we stayed, I think, like 2 days at the Grand Floridian. Like, whoa, big time. We're at the big fancy resort. And that was kind of, I think, if Eric were to tell you that was like his gift to me for like my portion, like that was my gift to have a couple nights at the Grand Floridian. And then we were 2 nights there, but then we had to take ourselves over to the economy resort, which was okay. Because honestly, that was really fun for Forrest and Allie when they were little. And anyway, it was just fun. So it was a little bittersweet to be back at that resort and to remember being there with my kids when they were little. But to see, Elsie, we were in the Dalmatian section and we were right there. As soon as you came out of our room, you could see the big, Dalmatian statues. And she kept saying, dog, 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 awake, dog, dog, wake. And so we'd go out and we'd say good morning to the doggies and we would say good night to the doggies. And it was wonderful. And it's just another little reminder to make micro moments of magic. It doesn't have to be on a grand scale and it doesn't have to be Disney. It can be anywhere. If you live in Virginia, you know what? Go to the parks, not the Disney parks, but you can go to Busch Gardens. You can go to King's Dominion. You can go to, Wolf Lodge, Great Wolf Lodge. You can go there. You can do a little beach vacation. You can go rent a hotel or book a hotel at the beach. Yeah, you may live 15, 20, 30 minutes away, an hour away, 2 hours away, but you can still take those moments. You live in Virginia, go back and revisit Williamsburg. Go back and visit our capital in Virginia. If you're in Florida, go to the beach. Go get a hotel at the beach. Try to make those micro moments of magic. It doesn't have to be on a grand scale. And that's what I'm trying to do. By the way, I think in retrospect, guys, I think this whole coffee time is therapy for myself. Now that I think about it, maybe I'm trying. I've yet to be able to find a therapist or a grief counselor or anyone to talk to. So maybe that's what I'm doing. Maybe I'm giving you the advice that I need someone to give me. So let's just play that game, shall we? All right, let me get started this morning. Let me see all you beautiful people and see. Oh, by the way, there's my mug with my little Disney thing on the bottom, and I can stick it in and I can get my Diet Coke all day long. That was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it. And I think honestly, it was just the, there's that stupid cough again. I think it was just I don't know, it was just a little spark I kind of needed to, just to kind of keep going too. So anyway, so let's see. Oh yes, Elizabeth. She says, hi, Doug. Yes, she did. Oh my God, that was so much fun. Yay, Amy Carmody, you're on listening mode. Good morning, my sweet friend. Elizabeth said, yes, it was so fun. And Sydney, those resorts look amazing. I have to tell you, they are, first of all, Disney knows how to do it. We all know that. They are the beacon that everyone measures themselves to. They lead the way, customer service, all of that. Although I will say, I was a little disappointed with this one lady. I'll tell you in a minute. But yes, the resorts are all amazing. I think in all of our Disney trips that we took, again, before we moved to Florida, when we measured time as a family. And by the way, it wasn't just Forrest and Allie. Then along came Elizabeth, and I remember that visit because she got lost at Disney Springs, downtown Disney Springs. She got lost, and I remember that one. Scrapbooks to prove everything. And then, of course, then Dawson came along, and that was right around the time of, Lightning McQueen. And so he would ka-chow. I have this lovely picture of him as a little kid. Oh my God, it was so much fun. So it absolutely was the way we measured time as a family. And in the course of all of those visits, we ping-ponged. We would go to all the different resorts. So, we didn't get to all of them, but we've been to so many of them. And the only one that we didn't have a good time at was the Contemporary. And I believe it was because it just didn't feel the same, but it was also under construction, and our room was so far away, and not under construction like new. It was like renovation, or there was a section that they were redoing something. So it just wasn't a really good time. You know how they put the signs up, pardon our mess type things? There was a lot of mess and there was a lot of pardons. And so it wasn't the most great when it came to the stays at the hotel, but the hotel room was fine. It was just, it was just bad timing, I think. But we've been at the Polynesian. Oh, that was amazing. Probably one of my favorites. Grand Floridian, the All-Star movies. I can't even remember, French Quarter, like just so many of them. But at any rate, they really are amazing. And let it be a reminder to you. And I know a lot of people are like, well, if you're going to Florida or if you're going to Disney, then of course you're going to go to the parks. Well, yeah, of course. But if you live in or around the area and maybe you don't want to fight the parks, maybe you don't want to do that, the resorts are just as entertaining. Obviously it depends on your family, but at the All-Star Movies where we were, there was a giant arcade. Guys, I was waiting. What was I waiting for? I think Elsie was taking a nap. And so I went down to maybe refill my Diet Coke, probably. And giant arcade. And I was tempted. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should get my little game card and go play some skee ball and some pinball. Eric would be happy if I did that. I didn't do it, but mostly because I'm not tech savvy. And I'm like, how do you get my card to play the games? And I was like, it's not worth it because I don't need it. But I wandered through it and I thought about the kids and how much fun they used to have at arcades and things like that. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff to do, all the activities. It is just amazing what they do. There's games at the pools, there's events, there's campfires, there's movies under the stars. So you don't have to go big to make those magical memories, Disney or not. So anyway, with that, I digress. Let's move on. All right, so let's see, whatever you have, Gina, whenever possible, would you be able to give an overview of the Haines City, Davenport area pros and cons? Sure. You know what? I'll make that part of my thing for next week for us. Allie, take note. Remind me of that. Make a note somewhere. But yeah, like Kim, just resort days are awesome. Absolutely. And I'm sure that Jim and Cheryl, I haven't seen Jim yet this morning, but if Jim's here, they're the ones that purchased a home. They are always at the parks or at the resorts. Sometimes they're like, we're just going to go look at the decorations at the resorts for the different holidays, see what the themes are and stuff. So exactly right. Just resort days are just really nice. And again, doesn't have to be Disney. It's great, but it doesn't have to be. It can be anywhere. And so everybody listening, try to find some time this year to have a little moment to make some new memories. And it doesn't have to be on a big scale. It can be something smaller, a little bit more palatable to the pocketbook, if you will, to make those memories. And I absolutely will treasure it. Absolutely treasure it. Elsie, for some reason, at night, she's so smart to understand what you're saying. The kids at this age, they're comprehending what you're saying. You can look at their eyes and they're soaking it in and they're understanding language and they know what you mean, right? And we were trying to explain to her that it was nighttime and it was time to go night night, and that we would go see the dogs again in the morning, but first we had to go night night. And she wanted to go back to the pool. So I would just, put her in my arms and I would just tell her, everything has to go night night. The dogs have to go night night. And then we named all of my dogs and Allie's dogs and Forrest's dog and talked about all the animals and that they have to go night night. And then she wanted to go to the pool. And so then we had to talk about, well, we have to go night night first because while we're sleeping, the people are going to be cleaning the pools and cleaning the chairs, and cleaning they're washing the towels, and they're going to put them back or fold them and put them in. And I'm just telling her this stuff. And she's just like, story again. Like, I'm like, well, it's not a story, but so, I mean, like what, 3, 4, 5 times I'm telling her the same thing over again so that she could comprehend. And it was just so much fun. I just had a good time and my heart really needed that. So, all right. So let's do this. Let us, Susan says, we're happy to be in therapy with you. I think this is, the more I think about this, I feel like maybe today's coffee time is maybe it's making me accountable for myself. Maybe that's what it is. Let's see. Pam, we love walking around the resorts. They're so gorgeous. Elizabeth, just the resort felt like a theme park to Elsie. Yeah, it was truly the best. Nothing better than starting some magic with her. Absolutely. Elizabeth, the all-star one with the cars is fun for kids. My granddaughters love it. Okay. Let's see. Now she wants the pool. Uh-oh. We'll stop talking about it. All right, let's do our coffee time. Here we go. I think, yep. Okay, so the 3 topics today. Remember, today's coffee time is all about kind of the spring cleaning and just renewing things. Now, again, I know when you live in Florida, it's warm all the time, so you don't really feel like there's the reset button for spring. But because of the cold that just kind of came through and zapped almost everybody's landscaping, then maybe we can all kind of gather around the rebirth and the regrowth of spring and everything renewed. So topics: decluttering, it reduces stress and anxiety, and this is true. We'll talk about that. 10 home spring cleaning tips. This is not like what product to use on a counter. I don't know that stuff. Just the regular stuff, but just some other kind of ideas. Also 10 personal well-being spring cleaning tips, like what we can do to kind of help clean ourselves, not by taking a shower, although, yeah. But for those of you that don't shower often, maybe getting your spring shower would be great. But no, I mean, just, again, internal, mental, emotional, physical health, things like that we can do. So with that, let's go to our first one, which is the decluttering, because it does reduce stress and anxiety. And I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely that person. I wish I was neater, and I'm going to be completely honest. What you don't see around me and in front of me is driving me crazy. I still have yet to figure out what to do with this office, and I'm just kind of stuck, to be honest. I'm like, I know I want to do something, but I don't know what it is that I want to do, and I don't have time to do it, and I don't have time to research what I want to do. I at least need to paint the wall, and I need to resituate things, and I wish I had been smarter when I did the house, and I should have gotten a floor outlet in here so that the cords don't drape. So there's like, I'm kind of stuck here in my office, but it drives me nuts and it stresses me out. And I don't feel like I can work effectively sometimes when my environment is not in order. Now, full disclosure, I am not the person that has everything in a perfect space. I've never had one of those homes that's just immaculately show ready all the time, because we live in our houses. You can imagine with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 children in a home, forget it. There's no way it's going to stay, picture perfect every day. And I wouldn't have wanted it. I love the sign that says, pardon our mess, we're busy making memories. That's perfect. And that's true of all those years while I was raising the kids. We were raising the kids. But like, for instance, how many of you, excuse me, you open up, like, let's say your garage is a mess. Okay, so let's say your garage is a mess. You open up your garage door to go into your house, and the first thing you see is the garage that's full of mess. And it's just disorganized. It's junk. It's some stuff that needs to be tossed. It's just a big, big space filled with chaos. That is what I feel like every single time I open the garage. Now, the home that we sold, I was very proud of myself because remember, the home that I sold, that was Erica, that was our dream home. That was the home that we were going to be in forever. That was the forever home until such time as we needed to go somewhere, that a facility that may need to take care of us. We already had the primary on the first floor. We had the extra space. We had plans for that extra space. The pool, oh my gosh, the pool, all of that was amazing, right? But just the space itself was intended to be a forever home. So I put in the garage storage systems. Storage systems everywhere. There was the shelving, and then I got the really cool kind from the Container Store that had like these mesh drawers. The drawers were labeled. I got 2 sets of them, so it was 8 feet of this. It was kind of like a pegboard, but it was like a metal slat pegboard with all of the little accessories to like hang all of the wrenches in order and the screwdrivers in order. And it was so nice when the garage was clean to be able to walk in, open the garage door, and you're like, that's in order. So as we keep going, chat in here and tell me, like, is your garage, well, Jim, except Jim, because his garage is immaculate, but anybody else, like, do you feel that way? When you walk into a room, are you immediately stressed out and anxious when you see the mess and the clutter? Because it just adds to all the things that you have to do. And then that just adds to it. And it's kind of like this vicious cycle. So yes, it is absolutely true. I looked these things up. Clutter overloads your brain. So your brain is constantly processing it, even if you don't realize it. And that makes it harder for you to focus. True story, right? So it's like if I'm in here and I'm working, like right now, I've got so much stuff over here. I need to clear off my workspace so that I can focus better, because otherwise my mind keeps going back to, I just need to go throw that junk away. I need to get rid of those empty Diet Coke cans, or I need to take those papers and put them in the file. So things like that, that's absolutely true. Clutter means you can't focus. If you can't focus, then you're not going to be as productive and you're going to be more stressed. And more stress leads to more anxiety. And it's just this vicious, vicious, vicious circle. So in my experience, that is absolutely true. That's exactly what happens to me. I get stressed out when the room is a mess and it's chaotic. I'm not the person who is reluctant to let go of things. I think I've talked about that before. I can let something go. I don't have to have it forever. I mean, there's things that I want and I don't want to get rid of, but I don't have to have every little thing. I'm okay to get rid of stuff. But yeah, the stress and the clutter and the anxiety is just nuts. Susan says, my husband spends so much time organizing his garage because I keep dumping my clutter in there. Right? That's exactly what we do. It's kind of like whenever we don't have anywhere to put it, where does it go? The garage. 9 times out of 10, that's where most people are going to put it, right? Let's see. Let's see what we got. I'm going back to your little comments here. Sydney, my bedroom is cluttered with clothes I need to donate. It's driving me nuts. Right. And the truth is, that's it. There's so much stuff. Now, when I moved in, I had sort of organized my clothes when I had to empty out Eric's closet. That we're not going to talk about. But when I packed up my closet, I got rid of a lot of stuff then. I mean, I told you I'm 58. My weight has fluctuated over the past 10 years just because that's the age we're at. So sometimes I'm heavier. Sometimes I lose a little weight because I don't like that I'm heavier. And then sometimes you can't control it, and then stress. And then sometimes you're like, I just don't even care about myself anymore. I'm not worried about it. So you've got clothes of all different sizes. And there's some of them I'm like, I'm never going to get back into that again. So I did a good amount of purging before. But even now, as I put stuff, I finally got my closet organized. And I looked at a lot of the clothes. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm hanging it up. Like, why am I hanging it up? I don't even know if I would ever wear it again anyway, which we'll get to again later in more tips. But yeah, it happens. And I think it's just important for all of us to kind of know that if you can give yourself an organized space, it will de-stress you. And that's true. Even if you don't know that it's stressing you out or that you're anxious about it, subconsciously seeing all of that clutter, for most people, I think there are some people that it doesn't matter. Like they can literally be a hoarder We've all seen those shows, and there's some other issues there, but there's a lot of people that doesn't bother them. But there's a lot of people where it does bother them. They just don't know how to fix it. So anyway, so there was our topic number 1. Topic number 2. What is topic number 2? Oh, yes, here we go. All right, so the spring cleaning tips. Okay, so these are ways that you can kind of help motivate yourself to kind of help get yourself organized and to clean a little bit and to organize a little bit or to go through the process. So the first one is start small. And again, this is just advice. These are basic tips. Some of these are common sense. Sometimes we have to be reminded that we have common sense, right? So this is me reminding you, actually reminding me that we have common sense. So start small. 1 drawer, maybe 1 cabinet, 1 closet, or set a timer. Or if you're like me, do both. So I'm the type of person where I will be more productive if I were to set a 30-minute timer and say, I'm going to try to clean this linen closet and just pull everything out, refold it, reorganize it real fast and pull out some of the things that I don't need anymore. And if I set a timer, that kind of motivates me too. I won't say that I work better under like a time constraint, but I just by nature, I guess, of my life and my experience and my job, like I tell every one of my clients, I don't rush or I don't pressure, but when it's time to go, I go. And that's kind of the way I am, I think, with cleaning. If I were to say, okay, I'm going to give myself 30 minutes to get this task done, and then it's almost like I'm challenging myself. So if that works for you, go for it. There's also the 1-year rule. Have you worn it or used it within the past year? If it's a little tchotchke or a little decor piece and you have it out and it's something that brings you joy, that's different. But if it's something like that you use, like I have an air fryer. I know everyone loves air fryers. I just don't like it. I don't really know how to use it. It's too big. I bought the big giant one. I don't need it, so it's just sitting up there. So why do I still have it? I know I'm not going to use it. Not only am I not going to use it, but it's dangerous for me to get up and get it on the top shelf of my pantry. So I know I'm not going to use it. So why do I have it? So use the 1-year rule. That's just a reminder. And again, some of this is common sense, but some of us need to be reminded that we have common sense. So the other one, I think I skipped the second, which is declutter before you deep clean. This one I learned because I was like, I don't know that I can declutter unless the room is clean. So then I start trying to clean, but if there's stuff on the counters or there's stuff in the cabinets or if there's stuff on the surfaces, it makes it harder to clean. So that's kind of the point. Declutter the house before you give it a deep clean. That's far more efficient and effective, especially if you are going to invest your own time and energy, or if you're going to invest your money by having another service or a person that's going to come in and clean. Declutter it first. Make sure that your home and your surfaces are visible. My kids used to laugh at me. So back when I had my dance studio in Virginia, I had this woman who was a friend of my friend who cleaned for them. And so I had her name was Susan, actually, but not this Susan, different Susan. She would clean, and I actually hired her to clean my studio. I was like, but she would come every other week. She would come every week, once a week. But the truth is my studio didn't need to be cleaned once a week because it's a dance studio and it's just open floor and mirrors. And then my desk area, but she didn't need to clean that area. So, and bathrooms, but it's a place of business like that. It wasn't like somebody was living in it. People were in, we would, play in my music, teach the class, they'd leave. So there wasn't a lot of dust and dirt and clutter and things. That didn't really happen in the dance studio. So I was like, well, instead of paying her to come to the studio every week, why don't I have her alternate? She'll do my studio 1 week and then my house the next week, and then the studio 1 week and then the house the next week. So then I had somebody cleaning my house every other week. So when it was the time for her to come to my house, I would run around and start cleaning. And I remember Eric and the kids, everybody was like, she's coming to clean the house. Why are you cleaning? And I'm like, well, she has to have a surface to clean. She can't declutter my house. I need to declutter my house because that's the only way I'm going to feel comfortable is if I know that I picked this up and I put it over here. So that's again a kind of, proof of declutter before you actually deep clean it. We talked about the 1 year rule. Okay, so make zones. If you're going to be doing a bigger cleaning, make your zones for trash, for donations, to keep it, or to recycle it. And if you've got another option in there, go for it. But like if you're like, hey, I want to donate this to maybe Goodwill, or maybe I'm cleaning out my pantry and I want to donate this to the food pantry at my church, then you can make different bins, but just use this as a guide as to what you want to donate, what you're going to recycle, what you just need to throw away because it doesn't work, doesn't serve a purpose. And, of course, what you're going to keep, because that's important too. You don't need to get rid of everything, but knowing what you have and being able to see it as a showpiece as opposed to being buried with 15 other things that are insignificant, then you never enjoy that one piece that you really love. So do that. Find ways for zones for trash, donations, keeping, recycling. Focus on a room or a space that has the biggest impact. And okay, this is my mental game, because then I feel like I accomplished something. If I just clean and tidy up one small thing, I did not get a bigger picture fulfilled. I just did something small. So find a space that's going to have big impact. For me, sometimes it's the kitchen, because you can walk into the kitchen if there's no dishes in the sink and the sink is clean and the counters are all clean. They don't have any, junk on them. They're all clean. They've all been wiped down. That usually makes me feel like I've accomplished something, like the kitchen is in good shape. The other thing, and this is so silly, the other thing that for me and the way I live, and remember, everything that I say, apply it to your life, like how it works for you. So in my house, I have this really big sectional, and I have these blankets over top of it because the dogs get up there, and I don't want the dogs to be on the actual fabric of the sofas. I want them to be comfortable because, they're my babies, but I don't want their dog hair and everything all over it. So I have special dog blankets that I put on there. Well, I need to clean those, right? So I feel really accomplished when I'm like, okay, so today I'm going to use my special little, the little mitt that you can rub, and all the dog hair will come off of it. I use that, I clean it, then I go wash them so that they smell good again. And while that's happening, I, clean the sofa and I scrub that and I do the little Febreze or whatever. I reposition the pillows. And then when the dog pads come out of the dryer, I put them back on. To me, I feel like, okay, that was good. So whatever it is in your house, whatever space it is or area of your house that feels like you are going to get the most impact for what you've done and the most satisfaction and validation that what you did made a difference, pick that space, whatever it is, and then feel accomplished that you did it. This is me. Open the windows and the blinds and blast some music. If you're in the mood, you're like, okay, this is it. I am a scuzzy mess today. Hair's going up in a ponytail, putting on my rubber gloves, and I'm just going to put on my junky clothes and I'm going to go clean, clean, clean. Then blast the music, open the windows, open the blinds, and try to enjoy it. If you ask, like, seriously, this is what I'll do. Like, depending on my mood, one of the things that when Eric was here as a family, if we would have dinner, like, let's say we were having, I don't know, if we were just having spaghetti or if we were having lasagna, we would say, hey, Google, or hey, Alexa, play Italian restaurant music. And so we would have the ambiance. I mean, music is a big part of our lives, is a big part of our lives. So we would play that and have a little ambiance, right? And so I do the same thing. Like when I leave the house, hey, Google, play relaxing music for dogs. So I put relaxing music on for them. If I'm in a mood to clean, then I'll say, hey, Google, play happy, upbeat music. And it'll do that. Or there's even playlists out there, energizing music to clean your home. Like literally, that's me. Like the fun stuff that you can, kind of keeps you happy. So that's not just a chore. It's a little bit more fun. Reset your closet for the season. Obviously, if you live in Florida, we kind of get one season. But you can there's still time when you can wear, longer pants and long sleeve shirts. You need a light jacket or a little cardigan or something like that. But if not, not everyone that is watching this lives in Florida, right? So wherever you are, reset your closet for the season. If you have the ability to do that, that will make a really big difference too. Just because your closet will be a little less cramped. So you can go, okay, well here, and I have it all within reach, but if you have a bin and you put your your winter clothes in there when winter's over, put it back up on the top shelf. So if for some reason you get a random crazy cold day or you're traveling to somewhere where it's cold, you still got it accessible. It's not a way away. But you don't have to look at it every day. And you can look at the other pretty things that are giving you a boost in your mental and emotional reset. 8, clean what guests or buyers will notice the most. This is important too, because you do want to make sure that you, again, going back to the biggest impact, right? What is it that you're going to notice? If you're a buyer, what are you going to walk in? I mean, you're going to look in and you want to make sure that the whole place is decluttered. My big thing is nothing in the corners. This is a pet peeve of mine, and it's just a me thing. I don't like corners cluttered. I don't like furniture shoved into the corner. There's a chair in the corner and a table and a lamp and a trash can in the corner. I don't like that. As long as there's space around it, make sure you have walkable spaces. But think about if you are walking into a house looking to buy it, what spaces are going to give you the most impact? And usually, again, that's going to be your entryway, by the way. That's the first impression that the client's going to get. Other than the curb appeal driving up to the front of the home, it's that foyer, it's that entryway. And remember, I say this all the time, engage your senses. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you hear? Right? Again, don't lick the walls, but you get a sense of where I'm going with this. What do you feel? Do you feel like literally, do you feel that the walls and the doorknob was sticky when you opened it? Did you feel like the handrail was sticky and gooey, or did it feel rough, like it needed to be sanded? Or did it feel clean? Like literally engage your senses. So you can absolutely do that. Clean what the guests or the buyers are going to notice the most. Number 9, implement a new system with baskets, drop zones, and make a new daily reset routine. I've tried this so many times when I had kids, and I don't think I ever successfully did it, but I tried. But if you try to find a new system and a new way to do things, I use this example because this is, to me, the perfect example. So, and I may have said this before. Sometimes I feel like I know I repeat myself, so I know. When I would get the kids ready, specifically the girls, when they were younger, getting them ready to go to school, we had a downstairs powder bath. And that almost all the time is where I ended up brushing their hair at the last minute, right? We're getting ready to go out to get in the car to go to school or take her to the bus stop, wherever it was. That was like the last stop out the door. And so there was always like a brush laying there. And I remember I hated that the powder bath always had a hairbrush laying there. So when you think about baskets or bins or boxes, that's kind of the perfect example. If that's where I'm going to do their hair, if that's the way my life works for me, then find a cute box or a bin or something where you can hide that, but it's right there and it's accessible. Make the house work for you. It doesn't have to be a showpiece. But if you want it to be like de-stressed and decluttered, and for me, that always drove me nuts. I'd go in there to use the bathroom, and then I'm like, oh, there's that hairbrush sitting there. And I had to keep it there because that's really was the last stop out the door before we go down into the garage, get in the car, and then we'd go wherever it was we were going. So, that's the way it worked for us. Okay, let's see. Think of spring cleaning as a fresh start. And I think that's really important too. And guys, there's a lot of other things to know when you are spring cleaning. It really is just it's a new way to kind of take that extra breath. Everything is a restart. Change those filters in your AC units. Sometimes that's when people like to change the batteries and the smoke detectors and things like that. But use that time. Make spring cleaning no matter where you live. This is not a Florida thing. Coffee time is not just about Florida. Okay, there's a lot of things. This is good tips for everybody. But use the springtime and the potentially warmer weather for a time for you to not just reset the interior of your home, but check the exterior of it. Take a walk around your house. Look down, look up, look at everything. Do you see anything different? Did the winter do any damage? Were there any new cracks that just appeared that you didn't notice? People don't usually inspect their own homes, either literally with a third-party inspector or even visually themselves. It's usually just when something catches their eye. Well, usually by the time something just catches your eye, it's probably a bigger problem than if you had just maybe done some due diligence and walked your own home. Springtime is the perfect time to do that. You're probably going to be outside working in the yard a little bit, giving that a refresh, right? Remulching the beds, adding some new flowers, some pops of color, raking up the leaves, throwing out some more grass seed, kind of sprucing up that lawn, getting everything ready for spring and summer. While you're doing that, take a look at the exterior of your home. Do you have a brick foundation? Do you have stucco? Is it hardy board? Like, what does the exterior of your home look like? Give it a good once over. You've got eyes. Take a look. See if there's anything that you see that looks out of place. And if you've got some questions, use that time to kind of do that. And then think about the inside too. Take a look at the inside. Do you see any unknown wet spots up on the ceiling? Was there a little leak that you didn't know about until the snow was melting off of your roof that now all suddenly appeared out of nowhere? Okay, these are the things you need to do. Make springtime a part of that, because it's not just being renewed. It's also about, okay, let's reset and make sure that our house is prepped and ready. All right, and then the last thing when it comes to this is a big one. Get the kids involved. If you've got little kids, especially if you've got those little kids and those like anywhere from 2 years old to 5, 6, 7 years old, they're shorter than you, right? Mostly. They would love to do something. Give them a wipey and say, okay, you go, mommy's going to clean today. I was going to say Mimi, mommy's going to clean today. We're going to clean together, and give them a wipey. It doesn't have to be the Clorox wipe if you don't want them to touch Clorox. Give them a regular baby wipe. Let them go around and wipe all of the doorknobs. They'll have a job to do, and it will actually serve a purpose. You can have them, get them the little Swiffer little duster type thing. Have them go, show them how to do the baseboard, and let them go around and do the baseboard. That's low. That hurts my back anyway. Let them do it. They'll love it. So there's ways that you can engage the kids. If they're tall enough, maybe they can reach the light switches. That's an important one. Back to when you walk into a house, use your senses. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste? What do you feel? Do you see light switches that have smudges all over them? If you see it, so is a buyer. And that's also probably going to be sticky. And that's going to give an impression of the overall maintenance of the home. So engage the kids. Let them do some of those small things. Okay, so let's see. Jane said she had to go because she has a doctor's appointment. That's okay, Jane. We love you. Hope you have a good appointment. Oh no, Elizabeth said that I started her Google. Oopsie, I'm sorry. Oh, Allie says my Google hurt you. Sorry, everybody. Kim, I really, really miss having a basement and a usable attic for storage. Yeah, I know. I can imagine, in Virginia, we never had a basement, but my grandparents did have an attic that was a tremendous amount of storage, and it was stand full height, walk the full length of the home storage. So I can absolutely understand how people coming to Florida from other parts of the country have to make a real adjustment there. But again, back to the whole spring cleaning, right? If something is sitting up in an attic and it's in a box and it's something that you don't need or use or wear, or other than like decorations or something like that, then that kind of goes back to the spring cleaning. Like, is there a reason to keep it? And sometimes, absolutely, yeah. And sometimes it's like, didn't even know I had that. Elsie sees me clean, and she goes, Elsie, clean, clean. Yep. Well, that's, we used to do that with the kids on their high chair tray. I used to give them a wipey. I'd say, clean, clean, and I'd have them help me clean, clean. My kids when they were little, so they can do some things, and sometimes they think it's fun, and we know it's not fun, but they're actually a big help. Tracy, these are good tips. Good, thank you. And then Pam says, same, Kim, that I feel like we had one. We just collected more stuff. That's true too, right? All right. So let's move on to our third brewing topic. My gosh, I talk. I am so sorry. 10 personal well-being spring cleaning tips. This is me telling you to tell me. So I'm looking at a reflection here because I need to do these as well. And I really did stop to think about this. I was so excited about this topic. And I really do think it was because it was what I needed to hear myself. And so maybe in me helping you and sharing it with you, it will help motivate me. So the first one is to let go of what you can't control. I think those of us who are older, who have some experience behind us in life, that resonates a lot more than potentially with younger people, because they're still learning life. They're still having these experiences. They haven't gone through everything that we have gone through, and they don't know all the things that we know. Good, bad, indifferent, just life experiences. They just don't have them. So we learn as we get older, let go of what you can't control. And I think that's really important. And I think that's a good tip for everybody. It doesn't matter how old you are, but I think it's harder for younger people because they're still learning everything. They're like, well, I think I can control everything. Until you get older and you realize I can't control what I can't control. So I need to let that go. Declutter your mental space, meditate or journal, prayer, quiet time, reading. What is it that you can do to help let your mind escape for a little bit? And again, boy, note to self, Amy, what can you do to kind of help turn your brain off? Which is very hard for me because with my job, it is 24/7, 365. There really isn't. I mean, even ask Elsie and Elizabeth, even with them trying to share a little bit of time, I had my phones with me. And there's only one time where I said, we're going to go down to the food court. We're going to refill our mugs. And I said, you know what? I'm going to leave my work phone right here. It's going to take us, 15 minutes to walk down, get our drinks, come back up, if that. So 15 minutes that I just put my work phone there because I'm like, well, nothing's going to happen in 15 minutes. I'll be right back to see that message or that phone call or whatever. But it's really hard. So finding a way to give myself my quiet time. For me now, that's when I go to bed. I get very excited about, okay, I can officially say I can leave my office now and I can go into another part of my home and I can retire for the evening and I can grab coffee, grab a soda, grab a tea, whatever I want, grab a snack, and find something to watch on TV that will help me escape a little bit. So it doesn't have to be some of these other things, but find something that will help declutter your mental space. Release guilt from the past. This is hard, I think, for a lot of people to do. I guess that's hard for everybody. I don't really feel, well, I do feel guilty about things, but there's nothing that's major. There's no major life event. I mean, well, there's a couple, I guess. Now that I think about it, there's a couple. But point is, try to unburden yourself from that guilt. Let go of it. There's nothing you can do about it now. What happened, happened. And however you had to resolve that, either apology or whatever, try to let go of that. Create new daily habits. This is hard for me. This is really, really, really hard for me. But because I am a creature of habit. So it's hard for me to try to start something new. But once I do it and I like it, then I can keep with it. And so some people are really good. They thrive on that. Like they can wake up, they can give themselves a pep talk. They wake up, they do their exercises. That's what I'm trying to do, is to find a time in the day, even if it's before I get in bed or if it's when I get out of it. It's usually before I go to bed, which is probably not the right time to do it. But I'll just grab some little 5 and 8 pound hand weights. And I'll just, for 5 minutes, I'll just do some arm things. It's small. It's not making a difference. I'm not buff, but it's giving me a few moments of, okay, this is a habit. If I try to do this, then I will feel better about myself and it's going to be good for me in the long run. So create some new daily habits. Number 5, set some healthy boundaries. Saying no. Oh, boy, that's hard for me. And then review who is in your circle. Again, easier for those of us who are older, who have experienced some life, to go, you know what? I need to have people around me that love me and support me and that are good for me and that aren't people that drain me or stress me or worry. It doesn't mean you have to kick them out of your life. It just means, who is that inner circle? They can still be on your outer circle, right? But who is it that has immediately surrounded you? I've got some of those friends, so I'm very, very, very grateful for them. So I have a really nice inner circle. And I have a lot of people on that next level circle that are also really good for me. But they're not right there with me. And then there's people when, I've actually had to say no sometimes to clients or to friends. I mean, when it doesn't serve me best. Sometimes it doesn't serve them best either, and they need someone to tell them no. But just make sure that you do that as well. Number 6 is my favorite. What brings you joy? Reconnect with that. For me, honestly, I like to give things to people. I like to do things for people. I like to compliment people. I like to I just like to be nice. I just like to let people out there in the world know that I love them and that I care for them and that they matter and that they're important and that even if they don't know they have, anything to offer that they do, which is so weird because I don't think that myself. So that's why I think this is my way of having my own therapy. But I truly, truly believe that. I told all of my students that in this massive, massive world, everybody is an amazing thread of this beautiful tapestry. We are an important piece of a puzzle, and that without any one of us, that puzzle does not look the same. And so I say that all the time. I just have to kind of spit that back at myself. But I think that was important. What brings you joy? Reconnect with that. So find ways to do things. Maybe what brings you joy is going to an assisted living facility or to a nursing home and entertaining them, or just sitting and talking. Maybe it's volunteering at a hospital. I did that for a long time back in Virginia. That gave me great joy. I loved that. I felt like I could help people that were in distress or were sad or were worried and needed comfort, needed a warm blanket, needed a cup of water. That made me feel good because I was making someone else feel good. Number 7, forgive yourself and others. Amen, Sister Fred. Number 8, refresh your environment. Buy yourself flowers, light a candle, spruce up your happy space. I laugh when I say buy yourself flowers, because do you remember when I was talking about, again, going back to this topic kind of cleaning, spring cleaning, that when we were trying to straighten out my garage, when Elizabeth and Steele and Elsie were with us for the holidays, and my son-in-laws and my sons, we were out in the garage helping to organize and kind of resituate some boxes. And I opened up this big box of all of the flower vases, and I just, not doing it. Darn it. It's like, why do I need all these flower vases? Like, there's nobody to bring me flowers anymore. Like, I'm not, I might get some flowers from someone, but not like from Eric. So I don't need all of these vases, I guess, is where I was going with that. But then one of you said, I just buy myself flowers. And I was like, that really resonated. I don't know who it was that said it, but it resonated with me. I was like, I can buy myself flowers. Like, I can make myself happy. It's not the same, but I like the way flowers look. I think they're pretty, or favorite candles. I'm a big candle person. So you know what? Go buy yourself a candle that smells good and do something that kind of makes you happy for a minute. Refresh your environment and give you a little bit more motivation to do something. Okay, focus. Boy, another good one. Focus on the season that you're in now. Calendar season and life season. Amen. These are all things, seriously, I know what's happening. I'm giving myself my own counseling. I'm giving myself my own therapy, because that's what I have to do. I have to focus on the season that I'm in now, not where I was before, the season I'm in now. Both what is the weather like outside, and what does my body look like now, and what does my future look like based on where I am now, and making sure that I focus on the here and the now, where I am now. I'm not going backwards, so I don't need to focus on those previous seasons of my life. So if we start with where we are now and make your life work for where you are now. And it sounds so easy, but I'll tell you, it's very, very, very difficult, but I'm trying. And now you're going to hold me accountable. And every Monday you're going to go, what season are you in, Amy? And I'm going to say the sad one. Anyway, okay. Moving on, make room for hope, new goals, new connections, and new beginnings. And I think that's something that we can all do on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be part of spring cleaning. I think if we could just be open to new possibilities, to new friendships, to new adventures, connecting with new people. And it doesn't have to be someone that becomes a friend. Maybe it ends up being a colleague at work. Maybe it ends up being, somebody that can help you in a way that, a financial advisor. Make a new connection with someone that can help you make better of your life. So be open to that and know that that's out there and that can exist. Boy, this is real. I'm a great therapist. Maybe, guys, maybe I've missed my calling. I'm kidding, clearly. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Let's go on to some other topics. You guys are so cute, though. I absolutely love you. I love you. You guys are, Sydney. These are great spring mental health tips. I needed to hear this. Thank you. We all do. The truth. Sydney, by the way, can I tell you something? I thought I saw you at the Disney All-Star movies. I almost went up to this woman and thought it was you, but I didn't. I watched her walk away. I watched her walk. And I was like, oh, is that Sydney? And then she walked, and I kind of kept watching her walk. And then I realized it wasn't you, but for a hot minute, I thought it was. And then it was going to be really fun. But so now we'll just have to plan a meetup sometime. All right, let's move on. Let's go to secret. Okay, did you know that 80% closet rule? Keep your closet only 70 to 80% full so that you can see what you own. It feels calm and you're de-stressed about it, and getting dressed in the morning is easier. That is honestly a really good rule. When I tell clients to get their homes ready to list, I have a 50% rule. I tell them remove 50% of what's on your shelves and your cabinets, remove 50% of what's in your closets, remove 50% of what's on your surfaces in your kitchen. Because we all probably have too much, and 50%, if it ends up being that nothing's on there, that's fine. But yeah, so take about 50% of to clean, to prep. But as far as day-to-day living, keep that closet 70 to 80% full so that you've got room to slide those coat hangers back and forth so you can actually see. How many of us have so many clothes that it's just like the coat hanger's bunched on top of the other one? You try to pull off one thing and then 4 other pieces of clothing come off, or the hook is hooked on something else. If that's happening, it's too much in there. Again, boy, Amy, take your own advice. All right, let's move on. Wishes. Oh, wishes. Okay, I am so excited. Jeff and Angela, hallelujah, yay! They got their new house. They closed on it. They are former neighbors. I just love them like their family. I just do. I mean, all of you guys, you're also special to me, and I don't know that you actually know that, but you are. Jeff and Karen, how many times we had our fingers crossed? Oh, we're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer. Fingers crossed. Nikki and Dan, we actually submitted an offer last night. Now, full disclosure, there was another offer on the table. So don't know how that one's going to go. But if you want to throw any good mojo out there in the world today, let's have Nikki and Dan have some good mojo, some good positive energy going their way. Kathy and Jonathan and Katie and George, we have 2 new listings going up this week. One went active yesterday. The other one is going to go active on Wednesday. So if you are interested, we have one of those listings is in Hawksmoor. The other one is in Waterlea. Beautiful, beautiful properties, both of them. So both of them have pools. So if you're interested, let me know. All right, let's move on to Scoop. Okay, now the TJ Maxx is open in Hamlin. So for those of you that are focused on Horizon West and Winter Garden, Disney's backyard, the new TJ Maxx is open. But before you go shopping and buy something new, remember all of these spring cleaning tips. Don't buy new until you get rid of it, right? Kind of like the parent rule with the toy. If we buy a new toy, we need to get rid of an old toy. We can't just have 50 bazillion trillion of them. I never followed that rule, by the way. My kids had way too many toys, but I had kids of all ages. So why would you get rid of it, right? But in this case, before you go shopping and spending your money, which I hope you do, the new TJ Maxx there in Hamlin, make sure that you have purged and gone through your house and your wardrobe as to what you actually need, and only pull in some of those pieces that are missing. That's so funny. Anyway, back to the cleaning. I wanted to throw this one in there. Allie said Easton has a little make-believe cleaning set. So when we clean, he grabs his broom to help. He does. It's so cute. He has that whole fancy kitchen area and a little play laundry area. And then he has that little thing that has like a little broom and a mop, and so adorable, stinking adorable. You guys are so cute. Okay, let's move on to Word. Almost done.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
I was going to skip Word today, but Elsie probably would not have been happy. So Elsie, there was Poppy singing for you. Okay, today's word is storage. All right, so this sounds really silly, and I'm going to go through this one really fast just because, I know you guys don't want to spend all morning with me, although that would be fun, wouldn't it? But here's some advice for storage. So we know that if you're cleaning, if you're purging, you need to have places to store these things, the things that you're keeping, or if you're going to rotate the season of your closet, where do you store the other clothes? First of all, try not to rent a storage unit. I've been there. I have done that. When I sold the house, we had the storage unit that had stuff that I didn't even know that we had, and I'm paying hundreds of dollars a month for a storage shed to hold stuff that I didn't know that I had. Absolutely waste of money. So if there's something that you really need to put in a storage shed, you do you. But most of us have stuff in the storage shed that doesn't, it's not a part of our daily life, and there may be a more economical way to store it. But for the actual storage containers themselves, my suggestion is to use clear bins. I kind of hate clear bins because then I feel like I can see the clutter that's in the bin, and that kind of stresses me out. But it does make it easier if you're storing something so that you don't have to open every single bin. Have a clear bin and put a label on it, and that'll be a much easier way for you to find your fall decorations or your Easter decorations or your Christmas decorations. The other one is to utilize your vertical space. So instead of just doing box, 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 or bin, 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 try to use that vertical space. Find a way that you can utilize it. There's a lot of area over top of our that top shelf in your closet that barely gets used. Find a more efficient way to utilize that vertical space. Make sure that everything has a home. You hear this all the time from those professional organizers. I'm not a professional organizer, but they all say the same thing. Make sure that everything has a home. So everything in your house has a space so that you're not just cluttering it, laying it somewhere. Find a space for it or create a space for it. The other one is use those hidden spaces. The sides of closets. I remember when I was little, my mom she made these little wood shelves on the side of my closet so I could put some toys in there or shoes in there under the bed storage. Those hidden spaces that you may not think of, try to utilize those to give you some additional storage. And that really is important, back to Kim's point earlier about not having the basement or the attic in Florida the way you used to have, maybe from where you're originally from. So storage is crucial. So find every little nook and cranny that you can and have good, effective storage solutions for it. And then the other one is the quick drop basket. I think a lot of us probably, or at least, I don't know if they even still make them anymore, but do you remember the little basket? It was like a little wicker basket that was shaped like a stair, and you would sit it on the side of the stairs, and so you could just dump stuff in it to take upstairs. We've all probably had one of those, right? I think the concept is there, which is, hey, we put, if there's a toy that needs to go upstairs, and you don't want to go upstairs, just put it in the bin, the box or the basket. But when that basket is full, go take it up and then sort everything where it goes. So it's that concept, I think. It doesn't have to be a stair basket, but a little basket that is kind of like, okay, well, this is the stuff that needs to, let's dump all this in here. And now we can walk around and sort it, put it back in its home where it is supposed to go. All right, who wants to see? Well, we are going to see the babies, but I have one more thing. Okay, so this is important, and I implore you, if you have not, I didn't know this existed, and I stumbled across it last week, and that is what prompted me to want to do this as a full themed coffee time. I stumbled across it. First of all, it's a book, The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning. Never heard of it at all. Never heard of the book. Never heard of any of it. But I saw the series on Lifetime. I was able to play it. I don't even know where I saw it. I mean, it was on Lifetime. Maybe I found it on Netflix or something. But it is called The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning, Season 1. I've watched the entire season. Every single episode resonated with me on a different level for different reasons. And I implore you, part of what the premise of it is that in Sweden, death is an open conversation. It's an open, like, no one fears the conversation. No one dreads the conversation. It's a part of life. And we all know that. But for us, I think it's just, I won't say it's different. It's just, I think we have a different viewpoint. One of the things that really struck me is that as these three hosts of this show came to America to help us as Americans with this death cleaning, it was maybe because you have a terminal illness and you are trying to get your life in affairs in order. You're trying to declutter, literally and figuratively, your life so that that's not left as a burden to your loved ones that are left behind. It can also be maybe someone did pass and now that they did leave that behind, and now you have to be the one to clean and to purge and to get rid of some of those literal items, clothing, furniture, tchotchkes, all that stuff. And that can be a burden to you because you don't want to throw away something that belonged to someone else. People who get furniture hand-me-downs from relatives, and you're like, it's not even my style. I don't really want that piece of furniture. This show is amazing. But one of the things that she said that really resonated was she said that anytime she would talk to the Americans, we would start crying, or the client would start crying. And the first thing that the client would say when they cry is, I'm sorry. And meaning they're sorry that they're crying. I'm so sorry I'm showing my emotion. I am so sorry that my emotion has got the best of me and that the tears are coming. And that is so true. I do it every single time. I'm like, I'm sorry. Or it's like, I'm okay. Like, don't feel bad for me. And it's such a different mentality where they're like, you do need to cry. This is part of the process. And it was such an eye-opening show. I've never had a show like when you watch, like, just the like the Queer Eye shows, love those, the makeover shows, the home makeover shows. Those are all wonderful. I love those. This is different. This was not just about, oh, you're a hoarder and you have all of these things. Let's clean your house for you. This was literally, let us clean your house for you. Let's get you and or your family or whomever was left after a loved one passed to process and to understand what you need to do to be cathartic and to cleanse what you're going through. And that's why it's called the gentle art. They're kind with it. It's a kindness and a generosity in helping you do a death cleaning. And I mean, a death cleaning, just by saying death cleaning, don't we all have like an icky, dark, negative feeling with that? That's the whole point of this. We shouldn't have that feeling. We shouldn't feel that. So on that note, watch that series. I promise you're going to love it. If you have nothing to do this week, if you've got an extra, watch one episode. I would love to hear what you guys think about that. Anyway, I was absolutely fascinated with it. It's what prompted this conversation. And again, maybe it's because I'm being my own therapist. Okay. All right. I got to show you pictures of babies and I promise we're going to go. I know. Babies. Okay, these are cute baby pictures. I don't know if I did the baby pictures last week, but I swapped them out anyway. Look at that picture of Easton. Oh my gosh, like that's like, this is so stinking cute. I cannot stand it. And then, of course, there is little Miss Elsie Mae with her new little mini Crocs, with her bathing suit and her new sunnies, getting ready to go to the pool at the Disney resort. Absolutely amazing. It was just, they're so stinking cute and they're so smart. I just love them. They are absolutely my heart. It crushes me that Eric doesn't get to see all of this joy, but I just tell you, they keep my heart together. All right, last thing, and then we're leaving. I promise. Okay, this doesn't have anything to do with the cleaning, but this did happen the other day. I was going through my email, and I just thought this was really nice. I wasn't expecting this. No one told me they were going to do this, but for the brokerage that I'm with in Virginia, remember, dual license, so I can help you in Virginia or in Florida. But starting Heart and Home Richmond, this was just nice. They just did a nice little, just kind of an agent spotlight, which I thought was really nice. It was just nice because, I don't think that everybody really knows who I am. Real estate brokers, typically, they're in the real estate agent business, not so much the real estate business. That's not true for everybody, but the brokerage cares, in my opinion, more about the quantity of the brokers or the agents that they have. But this just made me feel really nice. It made me feel like I mattered. And I was like, oh, well, maybe they do know that I'm there, that I exist. So this is really nice because honestly, what they said is true. And it surprised me because I didn't think they really knew who I was or how I am. But anyway, that made me nice and that made me feel nice. So I appreciate that. So that was a good way for me to kind of start my week and to have a great reset. with my mental health and my emotional health with Elizabeth Elsie over the weekend. And with you here on Monday morning, coffee time, starting a new month of March. All of this is fun and exciting, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's coffee time. I know it wasn't the norm. I know that it wasn't multifaceted with the real estate topics, but I still hope you had a good time. So anyway, as always, when it comes to real estate or perhaps counseling, give me a call or text me 407-848-8042. That is the Florida phone number. Virginia phone number is 757-329-0055. Either one, both phones right here. Got both of them always in front of me. Oh, look at all the messages. And so feel free to call me on either one of those if you need my help for anything. Otherwise, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week ahead. Please stay safe, stay well. Remember, I love you, and I just really do. I love you guys. Have a great week. I'll see you next Monday.